Phoebe, I think we need to change something. Way better. Good afternoon. You like it? You like it? You like it? It's kind of long overdue, but let me show you the Samsung One UI gallery. Oh yeah, that is the spot. Alright, same as always. Cool. Here we see the familiar interface of the Pictures menu. And one thing I've noticed when you go from photos to albums to stories to shared, it doesn't have any kind of animation, number one, and it does not allow you to simply swipe to the side to cycle through the tabs like it did in the last one. And again, this could be a beta issue / lack of feature, but hopefully they fix that with the final version. Scrolling all the way up to the top, we see One UI's typical viewing section that has videos, favorites, locations, and suggested. The video button is particularly useful to me just because it groups all the videos in one place without any pictures, and as someone who records a lot of video, it becomes quite beneficial. Favorites are pretty self-explanatory. It shows all the ones that you've marked as a favorite of yours. Locations is also pretty self-explanatory. It organizes your photos and media in general by the location in which you took them. And also, when I tapped on suggested, it didn't really show anything. And I don't know how to make it show anything. I'm not sure if it's a completed feature of Gallery or not, or if there's just a feature that it relies on that I've disabled. Haven't figured that out yet. Moving on to the albums category, we see them with rounded corners now, but with the same pinch to zoom ability to make the thumbnails larger or smaller to our liking. Next section is the shared part. It's where you can create albums that are shared with the specific people that you choose to share it with, and then anything that you add to that album, they can automatically access, which is pretty darn cool. Next, we'll move to photo editing. Bixby Vision still doesn't work, not even in Gallery, unfortunately, but I mean, until they really improve it, who needs it anyway? Up here in the 3-dot menu, we have an option to share it by live message, which puts it into the same window that pops up when you're writing a live message. You can move the photo around to reposition it as you see fit, or zoom in if you want. We've got some new pen options for live message up here too. I'm not sure when they added these. It might just be a new One UI thing. On the hearts and the snowflake looking options right there, you basically, when you start drawing, they gradually pop up, and when you play it back, they pop up in like nice flowing motion, and the hearts and the snowflakes kind of come off in little pieces. That last one on the right it paints in a combination of two colors, and as your line continues to be drawn, it goes and fades from one of those two colors to the next and then back again. And the other two on the left have been there before. One's just glowy and sparkly, and the other one is just a plain ink line. If you go up here and hit Format, you can choose between a high quality GIF, a low quality or normal quality GIF, and an MP4, so you could actually send it as a standard video file if whoever you're receiving it to or wherever you're trying to post it isn't really GIF friendly. This button down here enables you to add the emojis that your phone makes out of your face. The button in the middle allows you to add photos from your gallery into whatever you're working with right here. And this button allows you to just change the background from the photo that you're working with to any of these colors right here. And now for the photo editing. It takes us immediately to a place where we can crop the photo similar to how it was last time. It snaps into the individual dimensions as you narrow it down, if you want 16:9 or 1:1 or square or whichever. By hitting this button down here in the middle, you can again have your choice of ratios to choose from if you don't feel like searching around for it to snap into the one that you're looking for. Pressing this button here will allow you to alter the horizontal and the vertical perspective of the photo. This button here will flip the photo on a vertical axis. And this button right here, what does it do? It rotates the photo. The lasso button is pretty interesting as well. It allows you to select the shape that you are wanting roughly if you have the snap to shape option on, and then it tries to find the edges to what you were actually trying to select. And on the right, you can click the deselect option and then circle anything you don't want to be selected, like that right there. I'm going to go down around the bottom of her head, circle back around, and exclude all that as well. And if we hit the check button, then all we're left with is an outline of Phoebe's face. I missed the computer screen that's up there in the top right corner, but you get the general idea. As usual, the filter button gives you filters. Going through and tapping all of them will give you a live preview of what it will make the photo look like. And going to the end will allow you to manage all the filters that you want shown to be shown, and then all the ones that you never use to not be shown, so you're not scrolling left and right ceaselessly, always getting to a filter that you use all the time, scrolling past the ones that you don't need or don't want. Next, we have stickers. There are some new things that they've added here. We've got date stickers, we have speech bubble stickers, and we also now have arrows. They are resizable, rotatable, and quite useful. Additionally, you have the options to add another photo from your gallery to this one and use that as a sticker by moving it around, resizing it, rotating it, etc. Next, we have another group of stickers that have various sparkles and pastel colored shapes. And there's a little bit more right here. I believe these are the same ones that were in the previous versions. There's not a whole lot of exciting stuff here, but at least they're there and we're looking at them. Now you know. Let's look at text. We have the ability to add text to pictures just like we always have. When we type this text in here, since white is its default color, it's going to go ahead and go that way. Also, tapping a different color will change all the text that you've written so far, and also all the text that you will write in the future. Just like with the stickers, you can resize them, put them in different places, change the color, and also you can change the alignment, whether you want it from the left, from the right, or centered. Moving on to the decorative part of it, where we can pick our different brush types and colors. One thing I was disappointed about is the eraser tool now no longer erases by stroke. Instead, it erases by pixel, just like in Microsoft Paint. So you have to erase your entire line instead of just crossing through it once, like in Samsung Notes or in previous versions of the markup feature on Gallery. Also, with the brush types, we still have the same good old selection, including that pixelation brush. That thing is super useful. And in the lighting tools, we have the same tools that we used to have before. There's really not a whole lot of new things that I've noticed here. Fortunately, in the menu that you can get to up here, there's a different way that you get to the advanced photo editor. If you just hit advanced, then it will just take you to the advanced features. It does not say open in advanced photo editor like it used to. So what I think has happened is that Samsung has combined their advanced photo editor and just the regular one, and instead given you an option to go to advanced options instead of having to like open up a whole separate app to do that. It's a little more streamlined now. The advanced options have not changed from the advanced options in the last video that I did about Samsung's Gallery app versus iOS, or their Gallery, that is. You still have the same tools and options. The color pop is still there, still very useful. By tapping and holding anywhere in the photo, you get a magnified view of where exactly you're sampling the color from, and also a live preview of what it will look like if you release when you're at that point. So I went to the right at the end of Phoebe's nose where that color was the brightest, just so we'll isolate everything from that lamp that's on the front of her, or that's not everything on that lamp that's on the front of her. And then you can go into the erase button and grab the little straggler pieces right here, like what was on that flat part on the other side, the right side of the moon lamp. Grab little pieces like that, like up on her ear, and it turns it into a pretty looking picture. I like it. When editing some photos, if you go to the menu up in the top right, you'll see something that says portrait. I have not seen this option not grayed out. And the picture that I tried it with, that you just saw, was one that was taken with live focus. So it had that variable focus after the shot data in it, and still that portrait mode wouldn't work. So I'm assuming that this is something that they're going to bring in later, or it might just be something that the Note 8's camera can't handle, but the 9 series and up can, or maybe the 10 series and up can. We will see. Moving on to album and photo management, if you go open up an album and then swipe to the right, it'll show you a menu of the other albums that you can move or copy pictures to, and the tap and hold and then drag down to select still functions. Just tap and hold on any of the other ones that you've selected. The animation for dragging the photos around looks a little bit different. I kind of like it. Whatever. Dragging or dropping onto different albums, it still allows you to copy and move just like it did before. Something I found confusing is the ability to, after you selected multiple pieces of media, being able to create movie. You see that option up there in the menu. I don't know what the difference between a slideshow and a movie is. We still have options to do both of those. I know that if you press the paintbrush button down there in the bottom left, it enables you to put various different animated effects onto the slideshow itself. That right button right there basically shows you the string of photos that are coming in the slideshow, or movie, I suppose we're going to call it. These little effects right here, if you tap that and add a picnic basket with some leaves flowing, stuff like that. If there's one gallery that you find yourself accessing all the time, we now have the option to add that folder or album to the home screen. We might have had that before and I could have just missed it, but we have it now as well. Something else I don't remember seeing before is the ability to create a GIF. If you tap that, it'll allow you to select multiple different photos. It will not let you select videos for the GIF for obvious reasons, seeing as how GIFs are just a series of pictures quickly shown to you in quick succession. You can pick up to 50 and then they'll just play like this. Something I don't remember covering in the last video looking at the Samsung Gallery is the ability to, or a closer look at editing GIFs. These are GIFs that you have captured, and you see here on the bottom you can scroll through frame by frame. Looks like there's about 22 or so in this one. You can add a frame to it, which gives you the option to add something from your gallery, and in this particular case, I don't know why you would, but you can. You can change the ratio of this as well, which I thought was pretty cool because if you notice when I went back to that wide one, it showed more of the frame than it did before, which means that the phone has retained that data and you can go in and change it as you wish. You can make the GIF play backwards, you can make it play in a loop, or not a loop, it goes forwards and then goes backwards and just repeats that way. And you can also write on individual frames, but those markings or stickers that you put on it do not stay, or you can't make them move. So once you put them down somewhere and then play the GIF, then it stays that way the entire time, which in some cases can be useful, but not so in many, including this one. A couple of other things that I've noticed are refreshed or polished a little from the last version. When you're looking at a piece of media, when you swipe up, last time it took way too long for those details to show up. Now it's a very quick swipe up and down to give you more information on that photo. It just takes way less time. And lastly is a feature that I am extremely appreciative of. They've added a trash file or folder or bin, whatever you want to call it. Whenever you delete a photo, it will be sent to the trash where it gets deleted in, I believe it's a time period that you can specify. If you go up here into settings, you'll be able to turn off that trash feature right there at the bottom where that switch is, along with the usual options and toggles that you have with Gallery. But I thought this was a very, very awesome thing that they added, and equally awesome that it can be turned off. What I'm also picturing in my head are the Scotties on Patreon, the ones that pay $10 or more per month, and those are Stuart Glover, Kyler, Vincent Papineau, Teddy the Dog, Mario Torres, Robert Bitter, Jatinder Lal, Anthony Jackson, Eric Price, Stephen Nichols, Nick Hawks, Sin O, Unit Omega, and Christopher Caswell.
I stay with my Scotties. My Scotties are my boys. I ride with them. And I put that on the generation.
And for the Super Beamers, the ones that pay $5 a month, those are Paradoxed and Grant Stockton. And last but certainly not least are the Beamers, the ones that pay $1 a month. And those are Josh Utley, Encrypted Bunny, Spidget, Jamie Ives, Rico the 13th, Roman Van Rookhuizen, Nicholas Clark, David Larson, and Elixir. Keep taking them pictures and stay beaming. Man. This one's really hard to get out for some odd reason. Damn. Anthony Jackson. And for the Super Beamers, the ones that pay 10